Hello, my name is Luke Cutforth, and today I wanted to share with you the story of how I cured, if you can cure, my depression. Now online you see a lot of threads that are like, how I cured my depression, and they often go like, step 1, drink water. Cured. Step 2, think positively.
I am not depressed.
Step 3, have friends.
I have depression. Okay. Thank you for your assistance.
This is not like that. Depression is an illness. It can't just be cured by positive thinking, and I'm definitely not just being mopey or dehydrated. So, a bit of background. If you don't care about the background of my story, you can skip to this time code. Okay, great, thank you. So, the background. My official diagnosis is for something called mixed anxiety depression disorder, which helpfully the acronym for that is MAD. I'm just a bit mad, guys. And I was also diagnosed separately with something called cyclothymia, which is not really that well known, and basically is like bipolar, but not as strong. Basically, sometimes I feel very low from my depression, and sometimes I feel very high from my cyclothymia, and then mixed in there's some anxiety as a lovely topping, a little cherry on the top of my mad cake. And I think I've had some form of depression on and off for about 10 years, and tried lots of different things to try and fix this, and nothing has ever worked. Until now. 2 years ago, I went down to a place called SmartTMS in South Kensington in London to go and see my friend Dodie get her brain zapped with a big magnet to try and fix her mental health condition. Weird. She invited me to see it because she knew that I was a bit of a depresso espresso myself, and also because it's interesting and no one's really heard of this thing she was having. I didn't really know what it was at the time, I didn't really understand it, and being British, I was very reluctant to pay for anything to do with healthcare because that's just not what we do here. And one part of my depression is that I kind of just don't even feel like I deserve to be happy anyway, and even if I did think I deserved it, I didn't even think my depression was real. I thought I was just being pathetic or lazy or useless, so I wasn't going to go and spend money on making myself happy as I didn't think I deserved it, I didn't think I was unhappy anyway, and I thought I was just pathetic. So all those things meant that I just put this whole experience to the back of my mind. So a year and a half later, I was trying to do some work. I can't remember what it was. I think it was my film. And I was realizing that my depression, or whatever I thought was going on in my head, was getting in the way. And when I get into a depressive streak, I kind of end up like, am sad, try to work to have worth, can't work because sad, get more sad. Eventually take a day off, can't enjoy day off, hate myself for taking day off, get even more sad. And that's just a loop. That's been my whole life, just that loop. Ooh. So now the idea of paying money to fix my brain isn't about happiness, it's about work. And I can sort of justify that to myself of going like, if I pay money, I'm investing and I'll be able to work harder and make more money. Wow, now I can get my brain fixed. Now that I'm okay, I realize how messed up this is. I'm not a work machine. I'm not like a robot. I do deserve to be happy. For some reason, I needed a justification that wasn't just my own happiness to fix myself. Now that's a messed up justification, and if you're justifying your own sadness like that, I hope you find a way to get out of that. But this was kind of the spark I needed to force myself down the road of fixing myself. So I don't regret it, but I do look at it like, you're a mess. Whether it's for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, whatever, I decided to go for it, so I called up this company that Dodie went to called SmartTMS. And basically I was planning to max out all my credit cards and use the money that I'd been given by people on Patreon, which I'd always saved for like a rainy day, and this had been like 10 years of rainy days up in here, so I think that's the right use for it. And I booked in for a consultation to find out whether this was something that would work and was good for me, and I was diagnosed again and given a prescription of TMS. This thing I'm about to tell you about. Now, this is where I feel I need to do some honesty, because I booked TMS as a standard paying customer and I was prescribed it, and then they found out I'm a YouTuber and they offered me the treatment for free. So this is a relatively new treatment and not many people in the UK know about it. So basically my job was I would receive the treatment, and in return, if any press wanted to speak to me about it, I would do that. And that was the deal. There was a big moral issue for this in my head, because I was thinking, why should I, just because I'm a YouTuber, why should I have easier access to mental health services? I've turned down a lot of opportunities in my time as a YouTuber, big spons that I didn't necessarily agree with or that weren't part of my ethical lifestyle or whatever. But I came to the conclusion that for once in my bloody life, I needed to just do something for myself, purely for myself, to make myself better and happier. You might disagree, feel free to let me know, but I took it. Obviously, I think anyone in my situation would have taken that. Honestly, I got off the phone. When I got off the phone from SmartTMS, from Leah, who's lovely, thank you, Leah, I called my friend Josh, and he cried to me down the phone. I didn't cry to him. I told him this news, and he cried to me. But in my brain, it felt like somebody had just saved my life. It was like so overwhelmingly, So, I cured my depression with a thing called transcranial magnetic stimulation. Basically what that means is they use a big fat magnet and they put it on your brain, not inside your brain, on the top of your head here, and it makes areas of your brain grow or shrink depending on what setting you put it on. When you first go to get the treatment, they give you this very attractive skull cap and they measure your brain using a piece of software to find the bits of your brain that deal with positive and negative emotion. Then they have to work out how strong your brain is, which, by the way, my brain was very strong. I was really proud of that, but apparently it doesn't mean anything. But very strong brain right here. Good boy. Not strong in the mood, but strong in the magnets. Good boy. Basically, they get the big magnet thing, and they put it on your brain until they find the bit of your brain that controls the motor cortex. They just turn the power up until one of your arms goes, ugh. So I was sitting there, and they go like, okay, we're on 30, nothing. 40, nothing. 50, nothing. 60, nothing. 67, blah! There goes my arm. 67, strong brain. Strong brain. So then you start the treatment, and on the skull cap, they have marked with this piece of software a bit of your brain that deals with negative emotion, like anxiety, and a bit of your brain that deals with positive emotion, like happiness. Those on me are here and here. And basically they put a 1 hertz magnetic pulse, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, in this side to make the anxiety part of your brain shrink, and I think a 10 hertz magnetic pulse in this side, on your positive side, to make it grow. It's pretty simple, actually. So basically, I lay there for 22 minutes a day, every weekday, for 6 weeks, with a giant fidget spinner magnetically pulsing my brain, and somehow, it cured my depression. What is the world? A lot of people ask me what it feels like, which I always described as, it's like a woodpecker is smacking your brain. And so that asks the other question I get asked all the time, which is, does it hurt? Yes, it hurts. Not too much, but yeah, it hurts. You're getting electrocuted. Yeah. They start you on like a low power, so it doesn't hurt as much, and they slowly make your way up to the strongest power. But to be honest, once you get used to the feeling, you just want to be at the strongest power because you're just like, I want to get better.
Oh yeah, I'll give it that good shit.
Personally, I like that it hurts. Not in like a weird, sadistic, kinky way. I just mean like, if it didn't have some kind of feeling, I wouldn't know that it was working, right? I'd rather it hurt now for 20 minutes a day for 6 weeks than have all of the pain of depression forever. As it zaps your head, it also stimulates the muscles in your face, which makes like your eyebrow twitch like, hello ladies. What's my brow doing? What's it doing? After like a few weeks, I genuinely started like, when I left, everything seemed brighter. I felt happier. The dog that was in the office downstairs felt more cuddly and lovely. And I made friends with the local binmen and went skating on my electric skateboard with them, which normally, like, that would be an absolute, I would not do that. Too scary. Strangers? No, no, no. But I had a great time. If you've ever had any kind of mental health treatment in the UK, you might have come across these tests that they give you. It's like a piece of paper, and it says, like, rank 1 to 5. Life often feels pointless, and I'm like, 5! When I started this treatment, I averaged a score of about 26 out of 30. And by the time it ended, it was like, it was a bad day if I got over 5, which is like incredible. And the best thing of all is that it's permanent. And actually, as I've stopped doing it, because I stopped doing it ages ago, and I've been meaning to do this video because I've been constantly going like, am I sure I'm cured? I need to wait until I get depressed again, and it just sort of hasn't come. I still get stressed and sad about actual things, but that's not really depression. Is like stressed and sad and everything's okay, but I still hate everything. I think if there's one thing I really want to convey in this video, it's that I have been in the position of having seemingly incurable depression, and then I've managed to get it fixed. It reminded me that depression is an illness. It's not just a you're pathetic and lazy. And it's not just like you deserve this, or maybe you're just broken and everyone else is not broken. Having seen such a quick change in myself, I see how much of it is chemicals or the way your brain is working. And it's not that you deserve to be like that, and it's not that you'll always be like that. You just have to find the way of fixing it. There's you and there's your depression. And your depression is on you, but you're not your depression. You are a separate entity or being or thing that is not that and doesn't deserve that and doesn't need that. Now, the last question I get asked all the time is, how much does this cost? And honestly, I've forgotten what my quote was, but I wouldn't want to give a quote of like a figure anyway, because prices change, and also it's different prices all around the country, I'm sure. Like, I'm in London, it's obviously more expensive here. But the thing I can say is that for most people, this treatment is not cheap, and it's going to cost in the thousands of pounds, which is a lot of money, especially for something where you might not even be fixed. You might do it, you might pay all the money and come out and you're not better. And that's honestly obviously so scary. But what I can say is that the way I feel now, even if I hadn't been given this amazing opportunity by SmartTMS, it's changed my life, and that's worth more than money ever could be, ever. But if any of you do decide to try it and pursue it, I've been promised by the guys at SmartTMS that if any of you mention my name, you will receive a 10% discount, which is lovely. And this is not an affiliate thing, and I'm not getting paid for every person who goes and has a treatment, and I've not been paid to do this, and they're not controlling this video. They've given me a treatment, I want to talk about it, and I asked, is there any possibility of any kind of discount? And Leah, who works there and was talking to me, was telling me how she just really wants to find ways to make this as accessible as possible and help as many people as possible. So I believe that they're doing this for the right reason. I just really wanted to share with you that I have been in this place and somehow I've managed to get better. I'm not perfect by any stretch, but I am better. And I hope that that gives you hope that if you're in a similar place, one day you'll be able to get better. And so I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this and continuing to support me. And I want to thank SmartTMS, especially Leah and April, for zapping my brain and changing my life. Yeah. Thank you. Goodbye.